The time has come, comrades. The Maxwell trial has begun today. If you don't remember, a couple of days ago, I made a video talking about how, not really a lot of people are talking about the Maxwell trial. Okay? Supposedly it happened a couple of days ago, but then an article said that it's going to happen on the 29th, so I was a little confused. But it did say the 29th. So I definitely marked my calendars for the 29th, which is today, and it happened today. So right now we're going to be reading an article from the New York Times, I am pretty sure. Let me go ahead and show you what I am seeing on this main screen right now. Live updates. First witness in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial is one of Epstein's pilots. So that's like the main thing right there, right? So they're calling one of the pilots to testify against Maxwell. Good. The first witness. Or maybe not to testify against, I don't know, but it's the first witness. Anyways, Miss Maxwell is accused of trafficking teenage girls to have the sus with Jeffrey Epstein, her longtime partner. Her defense said on Monday that she was being used as a scapegoat for him, which, I don't really buy that. You don't, it's kind of silly. Obviously, the defense has to do what they have to do, but hopefully they will get her. This video might be a pretty long one. I've been reading a little bit here and there from this article, so just keep that in mind. So strap down, grab yourself a cup of popcorn. No, popcorn. There we go. Jesus Christ. Popcorn. Get popcorn. Yeah, not the other thing that I said. And, get ready to listen to some unfortunate news. So, here's what we need to know. So, these are the points that, if we click on, they're gonna, put us down in the article here. The first witness of Maxwell's trial is one of Epstein's pilots. 4 takeaways from the first day of the Maxwell trial. Again, this is the first day. Defense lawyers say Maxwell is a scapegoat for Epstein. Maxwell exploited young girls and served them up to Epstein, a prosecutor said. Even in death, Jeffrey Epstein looms over Maxwell's, sus trafficking trial, and who is Maxwell. We don't really care for that, but you already know. If you want to look a little bit more research on that, I would highly recommend you do, so you get, so you're a little more informed about this. And, but essentially, she is the girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, the monster, right? Epstein Island, that's the thing that probably rings a bell in you. Epstein didn't kill himself, yada, yada, yada. And here are the charges for Maxwell faces, or what she's going to face. So this is going to be the one that I'm going to talk about first here. These are the 6 counts. The 6 counts center the counts of the 4 accusers. The charges include, and I'm going to have to blur this out a little bit. I mean, you'll be able to see it on screen, but I'll have to, use different language, a type of word, right? Instead of using the keyword that will get me demonetized, because that's the last thing that I want to get, right? To get demonetized. Because I do want this video to be viewed by as many people as possible, because again, I feel like this is something that is not going to be talked about by a lot of people, which is kind of unfortunate. So these are the counts are against her. 1 count of incitement of a minor to travel to engage in illegal sus acts in which Miss Maxwell is accused of coercing one girl identified as minor victim. Sorry. No, I'm not laughing at this. I'm just laughing at the cursor was like hiding the 1. I was like, I can't read that because I'm fucking retarded. Minor victim number 1 in charging documents to travel from Florida to New York between 1994 to 1997 to engage in a sus act with Mr. Epstein. 1 count of transportation of a minor with intent to engage in illegal sus acts, which accuses Miss Maxwell of bringing the same girl from Florida to New York on numerous occasions. God almighty, kinda gross. Not kinda gross, really gross. On 1 count of sus trafficking of a minor, which charges that between 2001 and 2004, Miss Maxwell recruited, enticed, and transported another girl, identified in charges as minor victim number 4, to engage in at least 1 commercial sus act with Mr. Epstein. Yeah, like, if you think this is possibly a way, it's like, oh, they're just using her as escape. No, she is clearly into this. Right, Maxwell is clearly into, like, helping her honey get the young ladies, the unfortunate young ladies, and 3 counts of conspiracy, which are related to the other counts. The conspiracy counts in the indictment are more expansive, involving all 4 accusers and homes in the United States and in London. Of course, if you want to be a nasty person, go to London, or just England in general. These charges involve accusations that Miss Maxwell worked with Mr. Epstein to secure underage girls for sus acts. Wait, is that... Hold on. Okay, sorry, my screen was showing for a second that that word had like a little indent over the E. I was like, oh, I guess that's not how... Okay, weird, sorry. For example, by encouraging one to give Mr. Epstein massages in London between 1994 and 1995. Miss Maxwell, 59, could face a lengthy prison term if convicted, hopefully. Conspiracy to commit sus trafficking of minors carries a maximum of 40 years sentence. The other charges have maximum penalties of 5 or 10 years. Wait, are you serious? Only 10 years? Wow, one would have... Okay, that's a little weird. I would have imagined that you would get like a life sentence with dealing with sus acts with a minor, you know, especially to this extent. But I guess not. I guess the maximum could be like 60 years. I'm kind of hoping that's like a, you know, a lifetime kind of deal, you know, where she's like, oh, I'm going to prison for life. Yeah, that would be a victory. When Ms. Maxwell was arrested in July 2020, she was also charged with 2 counts of perjury, yeah, accusing her of lying under oath in 2016 during the depositions for a lawsuit related to Mr. Epstein. In April, Judge Allison, I can't read today, Allison J. Nathan granted the defense request to sever the perjury counts, which will be tried separately. Cool. All right, so that's the counts that she's going to be accused of, or she's being charged of. Not a light thing, ladies and gentlemen, not a light thing at all. So those are the things that you need to know about the charges. Now let's go over the 4 takeaways of the first day of the Maxwell trial, because this is kind of important as well. I'm going to read the highlighted parts here first, and then we can maybe go down here and read the other things. So this is number 1. The jury will hear the story of Jane, who was 14 when she met Mr. Epstein. How unfortunate. The defense will try to show that the 4 accusers' memories are unreliable. Ooh, that's not good. Those darn minors, they have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, those darn kids, they were just telling stories about fantasies and things like that. Yeah, that's... Ooh. If they get away with that, that's going to be really screwed up. Another defense strategy will be to shift blame on Mr. Epstein, but he's dead. Right? The entire point of this is try to, get some justice, even though Epstein is dead. Right? Hey, you can try. The prosecution used one of Mr. Epstein's pilots to set the scene for the jurors, which is kind of essential as well. Let me read this part right here. The first witness for the prosecution was not one of the accusers, but a private pilot, Lawrence Paul Viscurry Jr., who had worked for Mr. Epstein from 1991 to 2019. And I would imagine that, yeah, he would know something, right? Because he is the pilot. So he's flying to and fro from Epstein's island, right? So I feel like he's going to know something. Or maybe not, who knows? But I'm going to assume that he does. Mr. Viscosky described in broad strokes the role Miss Maxwell played in managing Mr. Epstein's households and properties, describing their relationship as couple-ish. Guided by photographs presented as evidence, Mr. Viscosky also described ferrying Mr. Epstein and his guests to various luxury residences in New York City, Paris, the U.S., Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, F.L.A., which I guess I don't know what that is, I'm sorry, or Palm Beach, Florida? I'm really dumb. And Santa Fe, New Mexico. I know what that is. Pretty much every 4 days we were on the road flying somewhere, he said. Mr. Vygotsky said that he did not always know precisely who was flying on Mr. Epstein's plane with him. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so he doesn't know a lot of things, but he just knows that he went to and fro to many places. Obviously, because he's the one flying. But he didn't know much about the guests, the quote-unquote guests You know, how unfortunate, how unfortunate. So the pilot might be unreliable. Besides, I mean, the lawyers, the people that are prosecuting or going against Maxwell, I guess they could use that, you know, in some way, shape, or form, you know. Let's see. Defense lawyers say that is a scapegoat for. Actually, no. Oh, okay. I want to read that part where it's like, where's the four takeaways? The four takeaways. Okay, so I want to read the part where it's like, the defense would try to show the four accusers' memories are unreliable. I'm going to read this part right here because this is kind of interesting. A few minutes later, however, a defense lawyer, Bobby C. Schernheim, I'm just going to call him Bobby, told jurors that the recollections from witnesses like Jane, who are expected to testify under oath about Mr. Epstein's abuse, were not to be trusted. She suggested the accusers had unreliable and suspect memories that could have been corrupted over the years or contaminated by constant media reports. She also suggests the accusers were motivated by a desire to win a big jackpot of money from a possible civil action against Mr. Epstein's estate. God, you know, you can't really call the lawyers here evil, right? You can't really do that. But if a regular person who had like no stakes in this were to tell you that, I feel like that would be kind of shitty, but at the same time understandable, right? But it's Epstein, bro. It's Epstein, bro. Like, watch it. I would be extremely surprised if he comes out innocent from this, but at the same time, to be like, there's something fishy going on here. You know, there's something very, very fishy going on here. Each accuser's story is thin, she told the jurors. They have been impacted by lawyers, by media, by things they have read and things they have heard, and by money, big bucks. That's going to be a very interesting, defense to see how that goes. You know, just put that there. And it's going to be like, oh, let's see if it stands. If it stands, then they might be in trouble. If it doesn't stand, great. Put the bitch in jail, as they say in Ireland. The jury hear the story of Jane, who is 14, which, I read in the beginning, so let's go ahead and read this description right here. In describing how evidence would show that Miss Maxwell helped Mr. Epstein travel and subtly abuse teenage girls, a prosecutor sketched out the story of one accuser referred to only as by a first name, Jane. Jane met Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell in 1994. The prosecutor, Lara Pomerantes, told jurors a seemingly innocent encounter that began at a picnic table with the realization that the two adults and the teenage girl all lived in Palm Beach, Florida. It ended with Jane providing her phone number. Ooh, you don't do that. You don't do that. Oh, God. Why were they even in that situation, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing, God? That was the beginning of a nightmare that would last for years, I would imagine. Miss Pomerantz said that Miss Maxwell helped win Jane's trust with shopping trips and helped normalize abusive sussy conduct at the hands of Mr. Epstein. God, just imagine buying people's respect, buying people's respect, dignity with a couple of shoes. Woman moment. The jury would also hear directly from Jane and from 3 other women who have similar experiences as teenage girls, the prosecutor said. Ooh, man, this is gonna be really interesting. I wish they would be able to show this on a live television, like on live TV. That would be very interesting. Although I've heard that they can't really do that because, it could try, I think that the reasoning behind it is if they know they're being broadcasted live on air, they're going to try to be dramatic and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. What else can we read here? We already read a snippet of that. Defense lawyers, I feel like we've read everything so far. Basically, it was all summarized. This is essentially all summarized. So, essentially, this is the first day, right? Like, if I had to come back this again, this is the first day of the trial for Maxwell. They're bringing in the pilots. The defense lawyers are already trying to dismiss the whole, the miners deal, because their minds, they could have been corrupted. It could all just be like a ploy to get money, stuff like that. And essentially they're trying to say that Maxwell is just a scapegoat, not a part of the entire puzzle. She's not the big issue here. She's not the hand, she's just a puppet in this situation, which I think is kind of stupid, you know, especially with all the stories that we're hearing right now. So it's gonna be very interesting, especially with the her checkered past, and it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good at all for anyone in this situation. Okay, but I just hope that at the end of the day, justice will be served, nothing sussy will happen. In the means of like, oh, you know, someone's gonna get paid off, someone's gonna die. You know, if someone dies, one of the jurors, if one of them dies or just comes in all hurt, and it's for, and you know, they're gonna give a verdict, and it's like, oh, you know, we think that Maxwell's okay. That's gonna look very suspicious. It almost seems like someone had a talk with them, you know. So, but we'll see. This is only the first day. This is only the first day, so they're just gonna have little talks here and there. So I will continue following this. If anything big happens in this trial, I will report on it. But to make constant videos about this for each day, I think it would be a little too much, so I'm just gonna wait until something big happens, or wait until the end, until there's a verdict in this. That's kind of funny, where it's just like, you know, little Trump and Clinton, Bill Gates, Epstein. And that's funny. That's actually really funny. That's kind of quirky. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the news for you today. What do you guys think about the Maxwell trial? Do you think that Maxwell's going to get put in prison for a very long time? Or do you think they're going to find a way to make her innocent? And that's not going to be good. Definitely not going to be good. But again, let me know. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say. But thank you, everyone, for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. You want some more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified on my next video. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.